you do not smoke no weed in Tokyo.
Right.
Like you will. It's like mandatory jail. Like I think it's like 45 days in jail no matter who you are.
Dang,
I think Americans are very entitled and they go places and be like, what? It's legal in Portland. Like, you know what I mean? Some dumb shit. And then you get caught up. Like, no, do not smoke weed in Tokyo. Maybe this is the beginning of a beautiful reunion.
I think it is. Welcome to my happy place. It's a little softer and like a little more playful, but still edgy. I'm really happy and grateful with where I am today. It's the Leah McSweeney Show. Welcome back to the Leah McSweeney Show. Even though, obviously, with my guest today, it's kind of the Improper Etiquette reunion that we're having.
The reunion.
The reunion with Laura Stylez. For those of you who don't know, me and Laura, and a lot of you do know because I just announced the podcast yesterday and this isn't coming out for 2 weeks and everyone's like, Improper Etiquette, we miss Laura, have Laura on. But me and Laura had a wonderful, amazing podcast for, how long did we do it for?
We did it for like 2 years.
Wait, no, we did it for Laura.
We did it for more.
I think it was longer.
It was almost 3.
How many episodes did we have?
A shitload.
Like 100?
Oh, wait. Can we?
30?
Is this supposed to be clean?
No.
Oh, okay. A shitload.
Fuckload.
Yeah, we had a bunch. I can't even remember, but I think we hit over 100.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We had amazing guests from Tarana Burke to Azealia Banks
to Dasha
Polanco,
Asa Akira. And then and for all the new fans of Leah McSweeney, we our let me see what our focus was to interview badass women from all walks of life.
Yeah.
That's all we really gave a shit about.
Yeah,
right?
True. I don't even think we had any men on the show.
Except
Ebro. That was fun.
Maybe we'll throw that OG podcast back up.
Yeah.
But should we tell them what we're doing?
Yeah, let's tell them. So
go.
No, you go. You do it.
Listen to TV Dad.
Natividad.
So we decided to we cleaned up and we hooked up the sound because remember we used to be a little jeto.
Yeah, a little jeto.
We cleaned up some of our old episodes, some of our favorites, and we actually put them up on Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
So if you guys are Improper Etiquette fans, you could go back, you can search Improper Etiquette, and you could resubscribe.
Yes.
To hear some amazing throwbacks.
Yep. And then who knows what the future has in store. I mean, we're here together now having our reunion. Reunited and it feels so good.
No, for real. I think that you guys might be in for a little surprise.
Yeah.
If you're a big OG Improper Etiquette fan, I suggest you go and resubscribe.
Resubscribe.
And we'll see.
And you'll never know what happens. Your sneakers are fucking cool.
Thank you.
Did Ricardo get you those?
No, I got them for myself.
Why did I? That was like misogynistic of me. No, but I know that he loves to like get you good.
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah. And he's
sneakers.
also I don't know. I'm hitting a point right now where I don't really I'm not as big of a shopper. And it's funny, I'm at a point in my life where I can actually afford things and I don't want to buy anything. Unless I really, really love it. Like if I'm like, damn, I really, really want that. Meanwhile, my man is like shopping so much.
He's a shopaholic.
Bro, I'm like, where are we going to put this?
Yeah.
Like where? It's our constant argument.
Yeah. No.
So,
I know. I'm in the same boat where I'm like, I did for my 40th birthday, I got myself a Chanel bag.
As you should.
My 40th fucking birthday. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Things don't make me, like, I remember being like younger, being like, I need a Rolex. It's going to solve all my problems. And then I got a Rolex and I was like, dude, I fucking dropped that shit on the floor so many times. Like knocked it in, like blackout drunk, knocked it into the wall, chipped it. I mean, I got it fixed, but I lose it. Oh my God. I actually, Kiki, I sent it to the Real to get valuated because, you know, Rolexes are worth like triple now.
Yeah.
I wanted to get it valuated. They were like, they gave me a number. I wasn't happy with it. They're like, we're sending it back to you. Okay. The packages come and my daughter's always like, did you get the packages? Because she's an actual shopaholic and needs help.
Okay.
She's like, did you get the packages? I'm like, no, I didn't. She's like, okay, I'm going to get the packages. So she goes downstairs. She brings the packages up. Like a few days later, I'm like, my watch should have gone here. Kier, did you see like a watch package? She's like, I don't know. I just threw all the packages out like that. Like I opened and weren't. I went downstairs and I said to my doorman, please tell me that the garbage from 2 days ago is somewhere around still.
Oh my God.
I was hysterical crying. It's the only really nice piece of jewelry I have.
Were you dumpster diving?
Dude, I had Rob come. I have a photo of all it. Me and Rob and Kier looked through 500 bags of garbage.
No.
Yes, he had garbage juice all over him. All over him.
Oh
Thank God for Rob. No, it was, and he found it. He found it in the last bag of garbage. When I tell you, I live in a building with like 23 floors. Every single person's garbage and recycling was in the back of the building. It was up to the wall, the packages. We had to grab them and bring them down and look through every single fucking bag, and we found it.
Leah, I would have said peace to the Rolex.
Nope.
Because I would have, bag number 3, definitely thrown out.
Honestly, Rob did it all. I left halfway through and was like, I have to go to an AA meeting. Bye. Like, this is stressing me out.
It's stressing me out.
You know
Find it.
You know what? Kier felt really bad because like it was kind of her fault. And I was like, what the fuck? It's my watch.
Right.
And so she knew that she had to fucking like find it. Like she was like, oh my God, like this is my fault. And like I was not being like,
Damn.
But we found it.
Thank God.
Thank God.
I got a Rolex as a push present when I had Kenza.
Ooh, we love a push present.
And my man gets mad at me because I wear this watch all the time.
Oh my God. You know what? I know, but why do you, so what do you like about
I like tracking my steps to make sure that I've like hit my goal. Like
right.
My job consists of me sitting down for hours and hours and hours. Mm-hmm. So I've made it a thing where it's like I need to like move my body.
Right.
So it's like a lot of us have these jobs that are very cerebral and we're mentally exhausted when we're done, but our body hasn't done shit. You know what I mean?
I know.
Have you ever sat in the toilet for too long, then your legs are fucking tingling because you've been scrolling on your phone for so long? Yeah. And you're like, what am I doing with my life? I can't feel my toes.
I'm pretty quick on the toilet, I have to say, but Kiki, she's going to kill me. That girl, when she goes in the bathroom, she stays in there for 2 hours. I'm like, God. And she's on the phone. She's like, she's like her little like relaxing place. I'm like, get off the toilet. Like, what are you doing? But yes, I know what you mean. If you sit down for too long and you're working, but you're using your brain and shit, then you're too exhausted to move.
That's what I'm saying. So it helps me. It kind of keeps me in check. And I have like an obsession with like hitting my goal. You know what I mean?
No, of course. See, that's the thing with the watches. I become too crazy with it because I'm like, oh my God, what's my heart rate? What's this? Because I'm neurotic as
So were you like standing in your living room doing jumping jacks? And like
if my heart rate is like too low, I'm like, I gotta get it up. I gotta get it up. Let me get it up. Let me do my jumping jacks.
Right. So so when I was on my Uber ride over here, I was thinking, okay, not to get too deep, okay?
No, get deep.
But I was really thinking about how many lives we've lived, Leah. The reason I'm telling you this is because one of my homegirls, Kathy Ayandali, who is a fabulous author, which was an Improper Etiquette guest a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And go support her books because she has incredible books.
Amazing.
And so she had posted something about her homegirl. And her homegirl is working on a podcast about party crews in Los Angeles. Now, I was thinking about it because growing up in Los Angeles in the early 90s, there were party crews like, everywhere, but the West Coast, and I could only speak on it because that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
There was always some kind of cliquing outside of gang culture.
Oh, okay.
So party crews were these like group of people who love nightlife.
Yep.
And they would all have like little names, and some of them were like the greasers, like
rave shit,
yeah,
like club shit.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, of course, yeah.
But they were party crews because they were like an all girls.
They had oh my God, we had them in New York too,
right? Who wore like white boots, and you know what I mean. And it's like there were some greasers who greased up their hair like Elvis.
Yeah,
they all had a look.
Yeah,
and everyone represented a thing. They were like the kids who wore the Jenko jeans and the Mickey Mouse gloves.
Yes, of course.
So all of that stuff, but they all, would go to would throw different parties.
Yeah.
But the craziest part is that sometimes that was the brother of someone who was like gang affiliated. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that's a little bro of someone who's a big old Crip.
Right.
Or a big old 18th Street or MS-13. Who knows?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I've never even heard of the 18th Street thing. Okay.
Or 18th Street was like a sub gang or rival gang. I remember because it was all over my neighborhood. And I might be saying shit wrong. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But I know those motherfuckers were vicious and they will cut you.
Oh my God.
Cut you. It was horrible. So, and I was thinking about going to some of these parties, and then my friend was at, because I told my friends, like, oh my God, this brings me back so many fucking memories of me like ditching school. And there used to be this carnival called Purple Shield.
Oh, that sounds cool.
So Purple Shield was a carnival, or it was a moving party that would be like in a club, but you would ditch school and go fucking dance, shake your ass to house music at like 11 a.m.
Oh my God, I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes it was fabulous, and sometimes it would have like, and what I loved about it is like my friends were all dancers because I went to a performing arts school, so they loved it. I was okay with the oons for a little bit, but I was like, where's the hip hop? And what they started doing was like having like hip hop rooms, and they would get like Most and Talib Kweli to come perform. And they would have all the b-boys and the breakers in there dancing, and it was so fire and it was so fun. I can't believe I was like 13 years old doing this.
I know.
Mad drugs everywhere.
I know.
And I never did the drug because I was always too scared. Like, no one's gonna take advantage of me. You know, I was always on that tip. But I was just really thinking about that part of my life.
I know.
And that specific podcast, when it comes out, hold on, I'm going to look it up because I want you guys
to fucking listen to it.
It's such a, well, hers is actually like deeper because she's covering, hold on, I'm pulling it up right now because I don't want to say wrong.
And you were doing that on the West Coast, and I was doing my rave
on the East Coast.
On the East Coast.
So hold on. Okay. So Janice, her name is Janice. It's called Party Cruise, The Untold Story.
Ooh.
And I believe this is a Vice production.
Love that.
But
they always do a great job.
When she dives deep in it, there was a murder of a young girl who was a dancer.
Oh my God.
And so she goes into like that case. And
it's like a murder.
Well, she's telling this one story, but she's also deep diving into the party cruise scene. Okay. You know what I mean? But when it hit the news, they all painted, but she attended illegal parties. She partakes in drugs and illegal activities.
They used to do that back then all the time.
But anything to discredit a woman. You know what I mean? Any way to kind of pin some kind of blame.
Yeah, that's what they did. Still to this day. If you're like a sex worker or something and you like get murdered, they literally will make it like it was the woman's fault. I'm like,
absolutely.
What the fuck? Like there was a woman, there was like I think she was like a stripper or something. Maybe she was a sex worker. I don't know, but one of the two. She was like murdered in a building in the financial district and rolled out in a fucking thing in front of the doorman.
What?
Yes, in Sarah's old building.
Shut the
Yes.
fuck
And then
up.
they like the doorman, they were like, oh, we're just moving some things out. But there was gang members living in this building. And and then they drove her to New Jersey and like dumped her. And like the way that the news was talking about her was like disgusting. Like who cares if she was a stripper or not? Like what? Who cares?
A while ago, and we talked about this on an episode of Improper Etiquette too. We talked about a woman, and she was a black woman who was I want to say she was decapitated. I don't fucking remember.
In Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn.
I remember.
And the way they dismissed her, they were like that she was a crack user, a prostitute.
Who cares?
The way they just shoved label after label to dismiss. I'm like, a woman was decapitated,
Doesn't matter
this is what we're going to focus on.
A drug addict or
they were like, oh, by the way, she was also decapitated.
Also this other stuff.
What?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. But anyway, so shout out to Janice, and look out for that if you want to dive. And that's something we used to talk about too. Like when I came to New York in 1999, I just remember like fitting right in because I was like, where are the parties at? You know what I mean? So I was up at Limelight.
That was a fun era too.
Yeah, I was up in Limelight, like looking for, my gay crew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there was a great hip hop room in Limelight, like while the other rooms like were house and like techno, and then like the hip hop.
I remember doing E till like 8 in the morning and just like popping. What do I feel like? Hey, I feel like shaking my ass and going downstairs. You know what I mean? Hit a little Vogue or try at least. But that's what it was.
I know. It was so much fun.
And it was so, and that's what I mean. Like so many lives we've lived.
So many
my
lives.
friends like, Laura, what the fuck? Are you serious? How do you know about this? And I was like, I just do. Like I was really young when I was in it. And I can't, like, I have a daughter now, and girl.
I know. Who's so cute. Kenza.
Never.
She's the cutest.
Thank you. I look at her sometimes and I can't believe she's my kid. Like I'm somebody's mom.
I know. Well, it is really crazy also because on Improper Etiquette, how much did we talk about like you becoming a mom or not becoming a mom, or if you would
become a mom,
or if you would like meet someone, like we weren't, and then you met Ricardo. I mean, like it all like happened, like in real time when we were like discussing it, and like now it's like she's here, and you can't even. It's cool because when you're pregnant when you're pregnant, you also can't imagine what your child's going to look like.
Yeah.
Because it's like up to God. You can't like imagine what God's creating,
Right.
like, and what like obviously like genes and blah, blah, whatever is, you know, you just can't.
I would have these really interesting dreams of Ricardo walking out of the room holding my baby. But as soon as her face was turned, and as soon as she was going to turn her face, I would wake up.
Oh my God. That's so annoying.
You know what's crazy? This is the witch in me. Like, like I saw him do that same move. And
it happened.
Yeah. I was like, it's deja vu. Weird, right?
I had a dream about Kiki when I was pregnant, but she had blue eyes in my dream, but she has green eyes. Yeah. But when she was a baby, she had blue eyes, and then they changed to green. But she had these big blue eyes. I guess so. I guess I did kind of dream her because she had blue eyes, and she did until they changed.
I think it's really important because I don't know, like I did a podcast recently called Cool Moms with this really cool woman named Elise Peterson. And she was really surprised that I was so honest about not wanting to be a mother. Because I feel like society has a stigma with women where it's like, and it's cultural, you know what I mean? And it's everybody, no matter what race you are, like what religion, they'll all look at you like,
they're like, why don't
you're not going to have a kid?
Yeah.
You're not going to have, you don't want babies? Like something is wrong with you.
Totally.
And I want
to. It's really no one's business. Why someone doesn't want to have a child. If someone doesn't have a kid, I'm not going to ask them why. I'm not going to say that's not my business. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And one thing I noticed too after having these are things I never paid attention to is like, yo, don't ask people. So when are you going to have a kid?
Exactly.
So when are you guys going to have a baby?
Yeah.
Why? Because
I think people don't even know that it's like maybe they can't, right? Or maybe
that's what
people are like not even thinking like that. They're just like, they probably mean well. I think a lot of people mean well, but it's like really needs to be a little bit more, people need to be a little bit more like sensitive to like
I was at a party, a gathering with some friends, and one of my girlfriends had a lot of trouble conceiving. A lot. Like we're talking about 5 rounds of IVF, like tried it all, like
that's rough.
Horrible. And I was with her like going through all of this, and people don't understand how like IVF is so rough on your body.
I can only imagine.
Only like the best of the best insurance will cover 1 round, and that's if it works. And if it doesn't, like we're talking about like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like I have friends who basically like almost their whole life savings.
Wow.
But what I'm trying to say is that like, and everybody's like, so when are you guys gonna have kids?
Right.
And she's like, you know what I mean? Like
and then she has to be reminded and not wanting to talk about it. And she's at a party or gathering or whatever. And then it's like, actually, I can't have one. And I just spent $200,000 trying to. Fuck off.
Dude, and
like, that's what she should say.
And that's really what it is. And people don't understand how crazy it is. Or maybe someone just lost a child. You know what I mean? It's like, you never know. So I just became really sensitive now. I'm just like, none of your business.
Totally. I like completely agree.
But on that note, I also feel that.
On that note, do you want another kid?
Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, I know. Me neither.
I'm good. Like I'm happy.
So good.
I have a healthy little girl. And it's just, look.
I think that only children are more mentally healthier than people with siblings. They get all, I'm sorry. I'm someone who has 2 siblings. But you get all the attention. You get all the attention. You get all the love. There's no one distracting your parents from you.
Everyone's like, so when are you going to get a little brother? No. Why? I was like, because I have a career that I enjoy.
Yep.
I want to travel. I'm going to spoil this one and give her whatever she wants. And that's it. And they're like, oh.
By the way,
they're expensive.
This is like so not on topic, but your hair is so fucking long.
Oh my God, I know.
Oh my God, it looks so good. It's so fucking healthy.
I'm giving you Pocahontas, right?
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
But yeah, I just feel like women don't have to have kids.
Of course not.
Like, you don't have to have kids. It doesn't make you anything. Like, oh my God, it's like that's what being a woman is about. No, being a woman is who you are, whatever you are.
I have a lot of friends that don't have children and won't, and they're not like regretting it. But I love being a mom, obviously.
Right.
And
now that Ken's is here, don't get me wrong. I love being her mother.
Yeah.
I don't want another one.
Yeah.
But I'm happy.
Same.
But I just like. I have friends now that are hitting an age where unfortunately women have to make a decision. And you know, because physically, like, you start running out of eggs.
I mean, it's a biolog. It's not our choice. It's not our choice.
Unfortunately,
it's not up to us.
You do have to kind of make a choice on what you want to do. Luckily,
men don't have to.
Right.
They could literally just keep knocking bitches up till they're 80. Girl. And they do.
My friend told me that her grandfather in Dominican Republic just got a girl pregnant. He's like fucking 75 or some shit. I was like, oh my God.
Only in DR.
I'm like, why?
Like, why? Like, why are you even having sex still? Wait, how old? She's 75. How old's the girl?
Don't even ask.
She must be, she can't be more than 4. Like, she has to be like, at the oldest 40. She could be younger than that.
Yeah.
Why is she fucking a 75-year-old man?
I don't know.
I would say those droopy, nasty balls, keep them away from me. I don't care how much money you have. I don't want those balls.
Gross.
I had a dream that I had sex with an old man.
Really?
For money.
For money?
Yeah. And
wow.
He had this nasty dick, but he took Viagra and it got hard.
Oh.
And then we
I mean, it's a real scenario. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. This is a realistic thing. I mean, maybe it was me, just maybe I have a fantasy.
Wait,
I don't know.
Have you ever seen a dick that old?
I've seen, back in my hoe days, like.
Because you're making it seem like this is grandpa status.
Back in my hoe days, I definitely think I somehow, I drunkenly saw. I think I was in a car after the club with a friend and the guy was definitely really old and I feel like he pulled his dick out but I'm not sure. But I didn't do anything to it.
Right, you just saw it. You just got flashed.
Yeah. I did. I mean, I was crazy. I also hooked up with a cab driver.
Oh.
Yeah. He was hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think about that because when you said it, I'm trying to picture one. I'm like, I've never really seen one in
only in in porn.
Right.
Obviously, I love the old man porn.
You do?
Yeah,
you love the old man.
I know.
Porn?
I actually haven't watched porn in a while, because I don't have a sex drive. But when I do like looking at old man because I don't know. I just would rather. I want to see ugly and gross porn.
There's people who really enjoy it.
It's just great. I've fucked a bunch of hot dudes. Who cares? I don't need to see a 6-pack and a young guy with a giant dick. I want to see some weird old man. Well,
I was having a conversation with my girlfriend because she was like, I just want a guy with a big ass, a big old dick. And I was like, honey, there's such a thing as too big and it's not
That's
cute.
true. There is. I need honestly, to be fully satisfied, I need 7 inches. And the average is 5.5.
Is that the average?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could look it up,
what
and
about
I think
if
it
someone's
is.
5.5 but performs great?
It's just not feeling the same inside. I need to feel pretty filled up.
Right. No, I get it. I get it.
It needs to be oh, okay.
Have you are you into any weird crime podcasts?
Oh, we're switching it up right now. So I was listening to a podcast. I used to go to sleep listeing to crime podcasts. And now I think I'm mentally healthier. So I don't do that.
Okay.
But I was listening to the Murdoch murder
I didn't
podcast.
get into it.
You didn't get into the Murdoch stuff?
No, I tried. I tried to follow it and then I just didn't.
What about there's a good documentary on Netflix about it.
Can you just tell me about it like you usually do? Just tell me what happened so I don't have nightmares about it.
It's honestly insane. So there's this family from South Carolina. They look inbred.
Yeah.
There's a dad, mom, 2 sons. The family goes generations back as having this major pull in the town.
Yeah.
They're judges. They have the biggest law firm. There's actually an oil painting of this murder suspect's great grandfather or grandfather. There's an oil painting of him in the actual court.
Oh my
It's
God.
some weird, I don't know. It's weird.
But it's such a real thing though.
Clearly,
this
I mean,
with families of power that have been,
and then of course it's a small town, so it's these
easier.
people here they'd be fucking little fish in a big ocean, obviously, but down there they're big deals. They have 2 sons, Buster and
who names your kid Buster?
Exactly,
So
and you should see, I mean, these kids look. I mean, it really is not. They're not an attractive bunch, but So I mean, honestly, so the father. Oh, so the son, Paul and Buster. Paul was involved in a murder. A death, I should say. He was drunk driving a boat with his friends, and he was being extremely irresponsible and careless and reckless and crashed into a bridge, and a girl named Mallory died. It was horrible. She was not found for weeks later. Her poor family, the other kids on the boat. There's footage of the father and the grandfather coming into the hospital to see the kids and trying to frame another kid like, you were driving the boat. And Paul, the drunken inbred, is like acting so dumb, trying to yelling at the nurses, like yelling at people, being a terrible person. Mallory's boyfriend was on the boat, and you see the actual footage from the police van or car. Mallory's boyfriend saying, stop fucking smirking. You're disgusting. It's all your fucking fault, and you're not even going to get in trouble for this. Like, Paul was like laughing, like just crazy, you know, like out to lunch. So that happens. And then at some point he gets off with like he's on probation. He gets no jail time, obviously, because the whole family is like, corrupt. Paul and the mom, Maggie, are murdered.
Oh.
And the father, Alex, finds them and calls 911 and is like, my wife and son have been shot, blah, blah, blah. Everyone thinks it's a family from the boat or Mallory's family, right? Trying to get fucking revenge. Well, then, like a few weeks later, I don't know if it was the timeline right, Alex gets shot in the head by somebody but survives. And then it turns out it's his like friend or someone he represented in court. I can't remember. He paid him to shoot him in the head. And then everything just starts falling apart, right? And then there's all these other deaths. Their housekeeper died years ago.
Yeah.
A young gay man. Oh, this was a horrible story. A young gay man was found beaten to death on the side of the road, and they think that it was maybe the brother or the uncle who was having a gay relationship with him and then killed him, maybe.
Oh my.
And then it turns out he's taking all the money from his clients. And these poor people have had these terrible injuries. He's a personal injury lawyer. Right. These people deserve their money. I mean, they've been like maimed and are in wheelchairs, and it's horrible. Yeah. They're keeping all the money from them. And he's also spending like $2,000 a day on a Percocet addiction.
This is insane.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you need to go watch the show, Laura. Well, now I just told you everything, and I'm probably missing some things. But anyway, he just was found guilty. So
wow.
Yeah. But while he stood there, he had to look at this painting of his family member. Disgusting.
Oh my God. I actually talked about it on my show earlier today. Did you see the 4 Americans that were killed?
Okay. What? 2 were killed, 2 survived.
Yeah.
I feel like something's up with this.
All right. So here's the deal. As someone who has driven from California
You've been to Mexico
Mexico. Yeah, I've been to Mexico. Yeah. I love Mexico. Yeah. Mexico's amazing.
Mexico City looks dope.
You have to be very careful, and you have to know where the hell you're going. And I'm sorry.
The cartel is real.
Yes.
People are getting killed every day.
Border towns are very dangerous for that specific reason. Most cartels have some kind of connection, or drug smugglers.
Yep.
Hello, it's right there. You're at the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no matter where you live, and if you talk to anybody in a border town, there's so many problems. And it's dangerous. Very. You know what I mean? So these 4 people, they had North Carolina plates. It's 3 guys and a woman, and
who was supposedly there for a tummy tuck. Which
yes, a cosmetic surgery.
If I believe it.
You know what? I know,
but listen, people go down there obviously for cosmetic shit all the time. But you bring 3 people with you? That part, I was like, what?
Well, she brought her brother and 2 friends.
Strange.
So that's what it is. And unfortunately, I'm like, if you can't afford a flight, you probably shouldn't.
I know.
To me, you're already skimping out. Like you can't afford a flight. You're going to get a tummy tuck
and saving money on the tummy tuck. That's why you're going to Mexico.
My head wants to explode.
Yep.
Some reports are saying that they probably it was a case of mistaken identity. They thought they were like Haitian drug smugglers or some other kind of drug smugglers.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right.
But I just don't think people understand how crazy border towns are. And how much you have to be really careful. Like, you can't just roll up and just drive through. I mean, you can, but there's so many, dangers that await you.
Border towns or towns that are, on the border of...
Well, when I mean border towns are towns that border another country.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, and I'm talking about, towns in Texas,
That border Mexico.
That border Mexico, yeah.
But why are those towns more dangerous than another town?
No, all border towns, period.
But what are border towns? I don't
So any part of the country that borders another country.
Okay.
Because a lot, and I'm specific, and I'm only speaking about American towns that border Mexico.
Okay.
Just because it's just a big, there's a lot of human trafficking.
Right. That's
people trying to cross the border illegally to come to the United States.
Got it.
And even those people that are trying to cross the border legally are in danger.
Oh, God, it's not safe for them at all.
No, they're literally risking their lives.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they get murdered, they get raped, they get killed. Everything that you can think of, it happens. And the cartels are like, bruh, all of their operations are more or less around those towns.
Oh,
that's what I mean.
That's what okay, now I understand.
And when I speak to other friends in other countries it's always almost the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like, my friend in Thailand was telling me about like some border towns, and it's like it's always very scary because of that. You really have to know which way to go.
Yeah.
Or the only way
traveling, period, you need to fucking.
That's another thing too.
I just watched Taken
again, like the old one.
Yeah, I watched it with Kiki.
Yeah, it's good. Good for her to watch.
Exactly.
It's good
I need
for her
to scare
to
the
watch
shit out of her. I'm sorry.
It's.
I'm like, you want to study abroad?
Yeah, I told you when I was.
I want her to, but I'm also like, you have to be careful.
No, you have to be.
Don't
careful.
let the guy from the airport go in the car with you. Like,
I told you,
we need to
it
have a
happened to me
healthy
one
dose
time.
of fear. What?
Yeah, I was in Belgium and I was on tour. I was doing a bunch of parties. So I was signed to an agency in Belgium for like a year, and I was doing all these parties all over, like in Germany and Luxembourg. I was everywhere.
Which is so much fun and such a great opportunity, obviously. And I love traveling,
But sometimes I would travel alone. And so the flights to go to Belgium, it would drop me. I would be in Belgium. Like it was like with time differences, my flight from New York would always land there like at butt crack of dawn.
Like in the morning, right?
5 a.m. And the airport was always like dead. And I remember one time just, minding my own business. And I go outside waiting for my girl to pick me up. And I noticed this guy like just peep checking me out. Young dude too, checking me out. And he was in a van. And
not a
something inside of me just was like froze, like my organs just tightened up.
Yeah, your fight or flight response,
right? And I was like, And my homegirl was calling me on WhatsApp. She was like, "Hey, are you here?" I was like, "Yeah." And I told her, I was like, "Yeah, there's this dude who keeps." She's like, "Get inside the airport right now." She's like, "Go and stand next to whatever security you see. Say no more." I ran inside, and he's like, "Don't make it obvious. Just go inside." She was like, "Listen to me. He's trying to see if you're alone." And she was like, "Just don't come out until I pick you up." And I was like, "All right." So she arrived like 20 minutes later. And I see her. She's like, "Come out now." And I come out and I get into the van. And his van was parked. And he was just like watching us. And she was with her dad at the time. And she was telling me, she's like, he was making sure that you were alone to approach you and either snatch you up or convince you to go with him and offer you a ride.
Whoa.
She was like, this shit happens all the time. And they prey on Americans because, a lot of them don't know any better. Or just young girls.
Dumb.
Yeah. Or young girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's like, you have to be really careful.
That's fucking terrible.
And in my head, I was like, I know better than this. I've watched Taken.
Right.
Well,
I know Kiki was like, is this real? Well, you know how they're like showing the girls and like there's like these rich like Saudi they're for a sheik and they're like 250,000, 300,000. Right. I'm like, well, I don't know if it goes exactly like this. Like I don't know if there's like buttons you press, and I don't know if people are really being sold for $350,000. It seems like a lot, but I'm like, yeah, this does. But like what? Like I don't know. I'm like, yeah, it happens, but like. I don't know, but it does happen.
It does happen.
Of course.
And it's not as luxurious as what we saw.
Doesn't look as right. No one's
just snatch your ass up.
Yeah, I'm not sure if people are being dropped off on a yacht.
Thank you.
Right? But like they're being dropped off somewhere.
More like what happened to her best friend. Remember, she was like stuck in some crazy camp. And she was,
you're thinking of,
thinking of another movie?
No, that's
I'm right? There was, the main character's best friend, they took her away, and then she died. She died.
She died in the camp thing. Yes, in that
camp.
fucking parking lot, a construction site, and she was just dead in the fucking.
But do you remember? Didn't they have her tied up to like a bed?
Yes, they had her
using her as a prostitute.
Yes.
They kept drugging her, and all these like
and
men
all the other girls
were taking advantage of her. So shit like that does happen.
I know. That's like someone needs to do a real expose on that.
It's crazy, but wherever you're traveling, and it's and again, I think about all the lives I've lived and how like. happy-go-lucky I was sometimes and just kind of like made friends with somebody. And it could be
course.
men or women.
Yeah, and sometimes they turn out to be nice people.
Yeah, and sometimes it could be fucking part of like a prostitution ring. Like you have to be careful.
My first time ever going to Paris, I was with a friend and I was like maybe 19 or 20 years old. Maybe I think I was like 19. It was before I met Rob. And we had gone to like a few places in Europe and then we went to Paris and we were at a club and we met these guys that like had like mutual, we had seen them at another club the night before or something. And like maybe we had like one mutual friend, like they were like skater like guys and they were like, oh, come with us to like our like flat after. And I was like, yeah, let's go. And my friend was kind of like, and I'm like, no, we should totally do this. Like they're cute and whatever, obviously. And we get in the car and they start driving like on a highway. And I'm like, like I thought like, where aren't we not going to another area of Paris? Like, why are we like, where are we going? And they're like, oh, it's just like, it's out. We're like outside Paris. Dude, we drove like 40 minutes outside of Paris to, I don't even know. And I was like, okay, this is weird. And we're like looking at each other. We go in their apartment and they like start like doing coke. And I probably did some or something. I don't know. My friend didn't though. She was very like on high alert, and I was like, no, I think it's fine, whatever. But then like they were being really like weird. They started like getting weird like sexually, like being like
aggressive.
Yeah, like not like they weren't like touching us or anything. They were just like saying things, and we're like whatever. Like just saying they were being weird, you know. Yeah. There was one dude in particular who was kind of the ringleader of the whole group, who was like doing so much coke and like being so weird. He was like moving his mouth all weird and just acting fucked up. And he kept telling us to talk slower so he could understand us because he didn't understand when we were like speaking English really fast to each other, right? We had to like and so me and my friend, we just kept talking quick, like we should get the fuck out of here, you know? And she was calling him motherfucker and he was like, call me motherfucker one more time. And she was like, motherfucker. And then he was like in Paris, in France, I guess, and I don't know, maybe other places in Europe, there's a key and you can lock the door from the inside, right? And he locked the door from the inside with the key.
What?
And she was like, our hearts were like, you know, and then she was, it was like a commotion. And finally he opened the door and we went fucking running down the stairs so quickly. And like they lived like near a gas station. I just remember like running by a gas station and they started throwing shit at us from the window, like tomatoes and oranges and like grapefruits. They were pelting us with produce.
What?
And we were like, ow, ow. Like it was crazy. And we were like so shook. We're like, we should go to the police and like tell them. So we like go to the police and we're like, we were just with these guys and we think they're coke dealers. And they were like, ha, ha, ha. They were like laughing at us and they didn't give a fuck. Finally, we had to find a cab to bring us back to Paris. We didn't know. I'd never even left the country before. Like, you know.
Oh my God.
So we found a cab to bring us back. And it was quite something.
Girl, that's crazy.
The worst part, honestly, was having tomatoes thrown at me. It was demoralizing, honestly. Like tomatoes, that's what you throw at people when they're like not doing a good job on stage or something, right? You like throw tomatoes at them.
People don't even do that shit. No.
I mean, obviously not. I remember it from like the Muppet Show, you know, like
imagine you're like have tomatoes in your backpack and your little Prada bag,
right?
Just
like
in case.
Casually, like organic, whatever. Yeah, so traveling is an amazing experience, and you really love traveling.
Yeah, I miss it because now that I have a 2-year-old and
it's not as easy, of course,
a different country and she got sick as fuck. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wait.
I remember.
I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, and I went to another country and my daughter got COVID and I got stuck there and couldn't leave and was like a prisoner, but it was a nice place at least. But still, it was really crazy to not be able to leave a country. You know what I mean? Like with a child, and I was there alone. Yeah. Having a mental breakdown. Yeah, it was fucked up.
People don't understand. Like, I always tell, like, my friends, like, travel, but please, please, please pay attention to everything. Do your research before you go.
Yeah.
Like, I was telling my friend who was, like, loose about she was going to go to Tokyo. I was like, honey, you do not smoke no weed in Tokyo.
Right.
Like, you will. It's, like, mandatory jail. Like, I think it's, like, 45 days in jail no matter who you are.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I was like,
I did not. I didn't know that. I thought, like, Japanese people will probably like totally get down with smoking weed out there.
I mean, a lot
Privately,
do, but
I
there's
guess.
consequences if you get caught. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's insane.
I
Like,
think Americans are very entitled, and they go places and be like, "What? It's legal in Portland." Like, you know what I mean? Some dumb shit, and then you get caught up. Like, no, do not smoke weed in Tokyo.
I'm dying to go to Tokyo. I don't smoke weed, so it won't be a
so
problem.
it's amazing.
I like
it's one of my favorite
I am
places.
so me and Cure. That's one place that like she really wants to go. Also,
I wonder. I know that if you,
I need a plug though. I need like a plug when I get out there. Like I need someone who will be like showing me all the best places. Like I'm not just gonna go and be like, where? I can't do that.
Yeah.
But if anyone,
I wonder how it is right now because I know like
what
if you have tattoos, you can't go to like certain spas and stuff like that. Did you know that? Because they think you're Yakuza.
Even me?
I don't know about women though. I don't know how. I know men it's a thing.
What?
Yeah, one of my boys when we were in Tokyo, and he's American, but he lives in Thailand.
Okay,
he's all tatted up. He has like sleeves, and every couple of hours he was being like stopped and like questioned and like profiled.
Wow.
He's like,
it has to be different with women. I mean,
I'm not sure.
I'm clearly not Yakuza. Right. Like
you have all your fingers, you're good.
Yeah. Why are they missing fingers and stuff?
Yeah, like a sign is like you chop off your pinky as like a form of like respect or
what?
Or like if you fuck up, like you gotta.
So when I go to Tokyo, I need to watch out for all the men who are missing pinkies.
Yeah, you might not want to.
Of course, I'm going to find those guys the hottest.
You might not want to mess.
How do they chop them off? Though?
I think you're supposed to do it in front of him.
An ice cutter, and you do it to yourself.
Oh, I think so. Or I don't know, girl.
Oh,
I know I'm not making this up. I know it's a thing.
That sounds
but
so
I don't know about the rules around it, so don't quote me on any of this stuff.
That sounds.
Just look into it for yourself. Yeah, it's like a whole thing.
Jesus. Are you watching any good shows? What's going on? We always like trade good TV shows.
I know. Let me see. I'm watching Snowfall.
Oh my God, me too. I just started watching it.
Snowfall is so good.
It's so good.
What else? And that's it, really. That's all I've been really watching, like Snowfall. I haven't really gotten into anything else yet.
Yeah, I haven't been really watching anything either. Even though me and Kiki did watch some Law and Order yesterday.
The best. Are you on SVU or
SVU,
or what?
Of course.
How does she like it?
Oh, she's addicted to it. It's scary.
Oh my God. It's one of the best shows.
It's the most addictive.
Right,
remember Sarah made her remember my sister made that like account? That was like great. She was like obsessed. Remember she made an SVU account?
It was so good.
And oh my God.
It was like SVU memes, but it was so good.
It was really funny. But oh my God, rest in peace, Munch. But I honestly thought he died 10 years ago.
Oh, Leah, no!
I know that was the weirdest thing when I saw that he passed away. I was like, wait, he's been alive this whole time, and I've been watching Law and Order, thinking, oh, this poor man, he's not here anymore. I thought he died like literally a decade ago.
No,
what the fuck?
He's
Richard,
so awesome. I don't know, Richard. I don't remember your last name.
Ledger,
you will forever be Munch.
Forever, you're forever Munch. And also his last words before he died were, I'm getting it all wrong, but they were. It was something like "fuck you, motherfuckers," or it was something
so
cool.
Badass.
It was something really cool like that. Richard Belzer.
Belzer. Okay,
Belzer.
yeah.
Can you?
Yeah,
so and his last words were like, "What do you want, motherfuckers?" or something cool.
It's very, very Munch of him.
So Munch. I guess when you become, I'm like, when you are an actor on a show like that, right?
Yeah.
And you are on that show for 10 years, and you're that character. You must kind of become them a little. How do you separate yourself from that person that you're playing all the time? What were his last words? Fuck off, motherfuckers.
Oh, man.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Wow.
Incredible.
It's legendary.
Legend.
Yeah, like when I think of Mariska.
Well, you met her.
Yeah, I met her once. She wasn't that great nice to me, but who cares? I still loved her.
Yeah, who cares?
She like for me, she's forever a detective.
Yeah.
Like she's forever a detective. Like I don't know how.
No, she's not an actress.
Like I wonder if they like shadow other detectives to get things right.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Like I wonder how much they do of a deep dive.
I'm sure that like the writer's room or whoever and the director and like the creator, Dick Wolf and everything, I'm sure that they have had to. Well, first of all, every single episode is like based off of. Not every single episode. I shouldn't say that. A lot of it is based on true stories. Like,
facts.
Right? So, but some of them seem so, like, it's like, what? Like, one woman will be like, your husband raped my husband. And I'm like, what? Like,
girl, should
what?
that be happening?
I mean, that's true. It does. I guess we're just, like, not hearing about it as much. But I'm sure that they, like, They must have asked like the real SVU and NYPD shit, right? Like,
and obviously for like, privacy issues and like it can't be exactly. And they say they alter the names and like they slightly change the plot.
Oh, that's right. They say that in the beginning.
They say it. So it's real. I told you about the time that I was like, oh my God, I was going through these like marathons. I was a psycho. Like on my day off, I would just start and I would not stop. It would be like 10 a.m. and next thing you know, I would blink and it's like 6 p.m. and I'm still going at it.
Yeah, because that's the kind of that's the kind of show that you can just watch.
And then I had smoked a bunch of weed and I was about to eat like whatever, my tacos that I had ordered. And then I had detectives knocking on my door.
What?
And I was like, did I smoke weed? Am I hallucinating?
What?
Yeah, there was detectives knocking on my door.
I don't know this story.
And I was fucking freaking out. And I think I was like texting my boy at the time. And I was like, bro, there's like detectives knocking on my door. And I was like trying to take a photo through like the peephole. Right. It was like not working. And then I'm like head high.
Yeah, like trying to take it through the little.
Such an asshole.
You're like, oh, I can't see that really.
So high. I was like. So then I hear my neighbor Margie's when I used to live in East Harlem. And she was like, I hear her talking to him. So I'm trying to be like nosy and I wait till they leave. I was like, I'm not opening the door for these motherfuckers.
No.
And then I asked her and she was like, she's like, yeah, they were detectives. She's like, yeah, they were detectives. Margie smoked a lot of cigarettes. She was like, they were detectives. There's a suitcase downstairs. And there was a woman who was chopped up and put in a suitcase.
No.
Yes. So apparently someone dropped off the suitcase on the corner.
Oh my God.
And everyone's like hanging out in the neighborhood. And I lived in like one of the last little pockets of like old school Italians.
Yeah.
In Harlem, like right in front of Rayo's. And then one of the guys, and my neighbor who downstairs was like, what the hell is this? Opens a suitcase and sees a chopped up body.
Stop.
A woman was stuffed in the suitcase.
Stop. What?
I swear to God, look it up. Google that shit. That shit is online.
Oh my God.
Then whatchamacallit, so the detectives were trying to figure out like, yo, have you seen anything suspicious? No, sir, I have not. So I'm having like a weird panic attack because I'm like, yo, real life is morphine. I can't smoke.
Talk about
anymore.
A buzzkill.
Yeah. So, and it ended up being... and what about the guy, my neighbor, who opened the suitcase and
I mean,
saw
that's
it?
traumatic.
So later on, it came out that it ended up being like, it was like a pimp ended up killing a prostitute and like just happened to dump her in our neighborhood. Oh my God. Because people were like, is this mob related? Is it,
yeah, like Rayo's, like.
So they were like, but ended up dropping her off in my neighborhood. And that poor woman.
Poor woman.
Yeah. So it's like, and then after that, I slow down on the SVU.
Yeah, you're like, this is.
I know it sounds so crazy, but I swear to you, I'm not lying. Google that shit.
Everyone, I believe it. I might have to look it up.
I saw it in the paper. I was like, oh my God, this happened in my neighborhood. Because I think my friends were like, bitch, you're wild.
Yeah, like you're tripping.
You're
like,
wild. But no. And I was like, you see, I'm not bugging out.
Wait, have you ever eaten at Rayo's?
No.
Me neither.
No.
And I want to go. And I know,
Me too.
I really want to go. First of all, I eat Rayo's. Like, there's no point even cooking tomato sauce because Rayo's is so good that there's like literally no point. Like, it's the best tomato sauce
I've been to
ever.
the Rayo's in LA. They have one in Hollywood. And my girlfriend Sasha took me for a Sunday gravy.
Sasha.
And it was so fucking good. It's like a big old pot of like sausage and meatballs, and then they just pour it over whatever you want.
We need a Rayo's plug.
So
you have to have like own tables there.
Yeah,
like it's very fucking like
it's like in a very like old school establishment. When I first moved to my neighborhood, it was like Hillary Clinton was there and like LeBron James. And I was like, what the fuck? Like why is Leonardo DiCaprio in my neighborhood?
Right, exactly.
So and all these like black cars, and guess what? My neighborhood was super safe because let me tell you something.
Yeah, there was Secret Service there.
They were always making sure that block was nice and quiet.
Right.
So, which I loved. I was like, oh, nice. I feel like I had like private security, even though they didn't give a shit about me. But,
I definitely need to like try to go to Rayo's at some point.
Yeah, it's a very small restaurant, and it's kind of they work it like a timeshare. Like you have to have like a table.
I know. I remember I had a lawyer a while ago that I used for something. I can't remember what, and he was like, I have a table at Rayo's every Wednesday at 7 or something, and I was like,
it's very specific,
right? It's like that.
It's
but what
cool,
the hell?
though.
He must have done some like work for one of the getting people off.
Yeah,
that shouldn't.
But no, I never did eat at Rayo's. But I've eaten. You know what? I ate at the one in Vegas too. There's one in Vegas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like a whole. It's funny because it was like a recreation of like my block.
Oh, really?
Except like 114th and Pleasant Avenue.
I miss Vegas. I haven't been to Vegas in forever. And I used to go, you're like, I don't. I used to go all the time for the trade shows, and I don't know. It was just a good, it was just like a good era of my life and like a fun era of my life. I was actually like looking through like old photos and like Leslie and Diana and Tabitha in the office, the mob office. And I started like crying only because I was like out of happiness. I'm like, wow, I like got to like have work with my best friends on like a clothing line I loved. Like, I'm so fucking lucky. Like, that's so dope,
So this year is like the 50th anniversary of hip hop, right?
Okay.
So it's a big deal. Like you'll see a lot of people doing really cool like things. And so I was on the phone with DJ Enough, who's like always been like one of my mentors.
He's great.
And he was in Vegas. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, you know what? I'm here for the trade shows. I think it was like Magic, I'm assuming.
Oh, that's so funny.
But they were honoring Carl Kanai.
Oh, cool. He deserves it.
And they were honoring like a couple of like the OG and like streetwear. He's like, anyway, they asked me to come because I was the first DJ that they hired for like their launch party.
No way.
And, that's my very first corporate check I ever gotten.
Aww.
Like everything was cash for me, like being in the club.
Right.
So like, that was like my first official check for DJing.
That's cool.
And I thought it was so cool. And I was
that is cool.
Wow, that's so dope. Yeah, and I saw some pictures of it and I was like, damn, that's so fire.
Yeah.
The
trade shows are still going on too.
Yeah. I thought that was super cool.
That is cool.
The whole world of like streetwear, but yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That is amazing. I wonder, like, but what's the official? Who officially started hip hop then? Like, who is it?
I mean, it's
debatable, I guess.
Yeah, it's debatable, but it was really beautiful because I did go to a really dope event at this place I think it's called Fotografisca.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't even know how you say it, but
someone sent me a photo from there because there's a picture of Little Kim.
Yes,
and mm-hmm.
and they were honoring legendary hip hop photographers.
Cool.
And Nas ended up showing me a lot of artists were there, but it was so nice. I sat down and it's so crazy that I'm like I can actually say that I am in a space where it's like I see a lot of these OGs and like they know me,
Right,
like
I've interviewed all of them.
I was chatting with Ralph McDaniels of Video
cool.
Music Box,
yeah.
and I was like, oh my God, Uncle Ralph, and I was talking to him, and I was like, isn't this beautiful? Like I was like, I said, thank you because of you. It was like I get to live like my dream career, like because of you. And he's like, what's that because of me? You know how they are. Like, no, I'm like, no, you paved the way. You were the one with a microphone interviewing people.
Right.
So yes, because of you.
That's cool.
But I will tell you this, as someone who has like been such a fan of hip hop, and we've basically seen every single iconic photograph, they had such an incredible collection of photos I had never seen before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder if any of Suquan's photos were in there. Of
Suquan
course, right?
was all up in it. Suquan does
Yes.
not get celebrated enough.
Well, let's talk about her. She's amazing. She's taken some of the most epic photos of Biggie and other people too, of course, but her Biggie photos really like stand out in my mind. And she has an amazing book that I have that I can't remember the name of, but go follow her and look her up. Suquan.
Suquan is an incredible, humble woman.
So humble.
I adore her. Like when I see her, like my heart jumps.
I saw her a couple weeks ago. No, it's great.
Yeah.
She's great.
You might catch her downtown in New York riding her bike. Just, she's definitely ran into me like, Laura. But she had tons of photos in there and photos I've never seen before.
Oh, that's cool.
And she was like, I can just imagine her like this like really young, petite little woman, Asian girl who's like running around.
Unassuming, right?
And she was in some of the grimiest like clubs and grimiest like places taking these beautiful photos.
Totally.
And she just manages to capture like the beauty in so many iconic moments. And she just has like really, really like tender and raw pictures that will blow your mind.
Her photos are fucking sick.
But yeah, I saw some really beautiful photos. And from the very beginning of hip hop to like photos of Melly Mel and Grandmaster Flash and,
that was like the kind of the beginning, right?
Yeah, yes. Like the parties on Sedgwick Ave in the Bronx. Like that's where it first started, like those basement parties. But it was just really nice to see just these women captured in such a beautiful light too. Like a lot of the women in hip hop, like Roxanne Shante, and but it was also beautiful to see some of the modern photos. Like the newer, the younger, the newer are
Cardi B
photographers capturing like the City Girls, and like
City Girls,
Travis Scott, and and Cardi, Remy, and like these in these beautiful like images.
So I went to the Little Kim concert
a
few weeks ago.
Yeah. I forgot about it. I'm so
at
mad
the
'cause I
Apollo
really
Theater. It was so epic. First of all, the people watching was just, I've never seen so many floor-length chinchillas. It was absolutely epic. Little Kim brought out she brought out Remy Ma, who first of all looks so good.
She's fucking fire.
Wow.
Like she looks incredible.
Wow. She really does. It was great. It was really great.
Yeah.
Havoc from Mobb Deep. Mr. Cheeks came out. It was really good.
I love that.
It was a great vibe.
One day we will get our Little Kim sit down.
We will.
We're
going to
been our wish list.
It's gonna happen.
I was talking to a couple of girls that I work with on my festival Envision Fest, but they're little fashion girls. They're so cute. And my girlfriend, my business partner Sharifa, was playing videos because they didn't know who Foxy Brown was.
What?
And I was like,
come on.
Yeah. And I was like, this is Foxy Brown. I was like, you have to know who she is.
Wow.
I was like, you have to understand. I was like that at this time, I was like, Little Kim was being dressed by Donatella Versace.
Yeah. And Misa Hilton, putting the whole thing together.
Right. And it's because of Misa.
Because of Misa, literally, because it was probably Misa's idea to match her wig to the Versace outfit or the Chanel outfit. And then she was getting the sunglasses and Mary J's look. And honestly, Misa Hilton is the reason that I dress the way I do, period. Or even try to attempt to, you know?
Oh my God. And do you know how many no's Misa got? Do you know how many doors were shut in her face because nobody wanted to fuck with hip hop?
Right.
Hip hop wasn't as pop as it is now.
No, it was
popular.
Totally not. No.
It was, it was a musical rebellion. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, you listen to that?"
Yeah.
And at that time, think about it. Little Kim was a fucking fierce feminist talking about sucking dicks and pussies and gangster shit, and she didn't give a fuck. And people don't realize how at that time how groundbreaking that was. They don't understand.
We need to have a sit down with Misa too.
Yes, yeah, and we totally can. She's a friend, and she's just I can't. To me, it's I just wanted to talk to Little Kim about that time of her life.
We need to talk to her.
The David LaChapelle photos.
I know. I want to hear about what was going on behind the scenes with the David LaChapelle stuff. What did you and Donatella talk about? Did you have a salad together? What was going on when you were getting fitted for her stuff, or when you went to Paris and we're hanging out with Karl Lagerfeld and he was dressing you? I want to hear about that shit.
What do they say to you? What
do you guys talk about?
What outfits did you say no to? Did they understand you? Did they have what was the vision?
Was anyone shady to you?
Right. Were people looking at you ugh?
She would never but Little Kim would never she's so sweet and keeps it always positive. But we do, and we will talk to her one day about all of this stuff. We're just putting it out there. We're manifesting it. We're manifesting it.
Yeah.
When you had me come to the Hot 97 studio and you didn't tell me that it was her.
I've never seen you you shrunk to a 15-year-old schoolgirl.
Yes, I absolutely did. And she was so she was so nice and warm and just the best. And now I've gotten to hang out with her a few times, after that and stuff. So, and being able to have that reference that we met then, and then if we're sitting next to each other at Fashion Week, it's oh, we met then. And then it was just, it was so beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
We could go on and on and talk. I felt I wanted to talk about postpartum depression and this and that and all these serious topics.
Damn, and I did too. I
know. How did we get here? We were talking about gangs and
party crews
and decapitated people. But this is just maybe
this
us
is the beginning of a beautiful reunion.
I think it is. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. You can follow Laura
at Laura Stylez with a Z.
And you can follow me at Leah Mob, at the Leah McSweeney Show. You can email the Leah McSweeney Show at gmail.com.
Yes, bitch.
Yes. And
congratulations. This is wonderful. I'm so happy for you.
It's fun.
Yeah, we definitely need to figure this out because I have so many things I want to talk to you about.
I know. This is all right. Well, we're going to wrap it up so we can go discuss business. Thank you. Bye.